HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. It's the predominant markup language for web pages, and it provides a means to create structured documents for text such as headings, paragraphs, lists, links, and more. And you can also embed images and objects, and it can be used to create interactive forms. HTML can also be used to include the CSS, cascading style sheets, to define the appearance and layout of texts and other material. And that's when it really becomes interesting. But before we get that far, we need to learn some basics. So let's start by opening Notepad. And the first thing you are going to write is the following. According to HTML standards, each HTML document requires a document type declaration, which we call the doctype. And the doctype begins the HTML document and tells a validator which version of HTML to use in checking the document's syntax. And there are more than one doctype in use, but the one we are using is very common. And in browsers, the function of the doctype is to indicate the rendering mode, particularly to avoid quirks mode. And quirks mode refers to a technique used by some web browsers for the sake of maintaining backward compatibility with web pages designed for older browsers. W3C stands for the World Wide Web Consortium, and is the main international standards organization for the World Wide Web. And DTD stands for Doctype Declaration. EN stands for English. And HTML has been around for quite some time, and version 4.01 has been around for nearly 10 years, if not longer. And if you go in on the source code of different websites, you might also see XHTML and HTML5. Now, HTML5 introduces a number of new elements and attributes that reflect typical usage on modern websites. They're still working on making it official, and we'll get back to both XHTML and HTML5 in later tutorials. HTML is written in the form of HTML elements consisting of tags surrounded by angle brackets. Now, when you have a beginning tag, you usually also have an ending tag. We'll soon see that. So let's start the document with the tag HTML. Now, your document is divided into a head and a body section. Whatever is in your head section doesn't show up in your document. Whatever you have in your body section does. So let's start with the head tag. Now, the head element is a container for all the head elements, which can include scripts, instruct the browser where you can find style sheets, provide meta information, and more. The only required element in the head section is the title element, which defines the title of the document. And we're going to call our document for my first HTML document. Now, title is your beginning tag, and since we are now finished with our title, we're gonna go ahead and place a ending tag here. The only difference between a beginning tag and an ending tag is that you have a slash right after the first angle bracket. And this completes our title, and in our case it also completes our head section. Slash. Now we're going to start on our body section, and we're going to start with a body tag. Now the body element defines the document's body, and it contains all the contents of your HTML document, such as text, hyperlinks, images, tables, lists, etc. For now, we're gonna write "Hello World." That's gonna be our body. And since our body section now is complete, we're gonna end it like this. And this concludes our document. Now there's still one tag which we have to place, and that's the ending tag for the HTML. Now one way to do this so you don't forget an ending tag is immediately after writing your beginning tag, you can write your ending tag, and it doesn't really matter if there is spaces in between, and then you can start on your head tag afterwards. Before we save our document, there's one thing I want to show you. The untitled here in Notepad is soon going to be replaced by my first HTML document. And all the tags that we have placed in our document will be replaced by the words "Hello World." So let's go ahead and save our Notepad document. File, Save As. Now I'm placing my documents in my documents folder, but you place it wherever you feel like placing the document. As a name here, I'm going to call it for test 1 to prove a point, and not my first HTML document. But the important thing here is the ending. We are going to have the ending HTML. And Notepad has a tendency to have the ending TXT on everything, so instead of TXT type, we are just gonna click on all files, and then we're gonna save it. Now so far we have the test 1 here, but when we close the Notepad and bring up our My Documents folder, we have the test 1, and it's a HTML document. Double click it, and in the top here on Explorer you see My First HTML Document, which was what we had between our title tags. And in our body section here, all we have is the words "Hello World." If we want to view our source code, we'll go in on a page, source code, and this is the code that we wrote for our HTML document. Now I saved the document as test 1, which was to prove a point. I would advise you to save it as the same as what you write as your title. Now in these first tutorials we will be using Notepad, but we will soon try out different editors more suited for our purpose. You have editors out there that will highlight the syntax for you, add code automatically for you, and as you type your code it will give you options. It makes it really easy to write code, and that's a good thing. For now, bear with me and write your tags yourself. We still have a minute left, so I'm going to show you one thing. If you go in on your internet and we're going in on the New York Times. When we look at their source code, we see that they are also using HTML 401.